Okay, I don't have the intro song here like Mike always does queued up, but what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collected Keys podcast. We don't have Mike here because Mike is on a rafting trip with his Bible study group, and he will be out for the rest of the weekend, but he'll be back next week. Pill, you know what? Sent Dylan a few DMs because him and I rescheduled this podcast because I had to accommodate him because whatever Dylan does out there, I don't know what he does. And then I picked the time that he wanted to record, and then he just didn't show up and said he was walking a property, which is like code for I'm at the bar having fun with my buddies and I don't want to do work today. So Dylan's actually getting put on notice. We have my co-host today, Aaron Bihl, friend of the show. You've been on the show many times. How you doing, Aaron?
Doing well, man. Glad to fill in last minute for you.
I know. I literally text Aaron. Well, I text Aaron and Greg Helbeck in a group chat. I said, are either you guys ready to, or can either you guys record? Aaron's like, I can. And then I was like, here's the link. You're like, right now? I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, there was no warning. It was literally like, can you be on in 3 seconds? I was like, well, I just walked to my house, but
let's go. Hopefully Greg will just hop in randomly. I always love having Greg on the show too. But Aaron, I do appreciate your willingness to hop in last minute. And we do have something to talk about, which we were talking about prior to the show, which is you're on like the number one most wanted list for Pace Morby now. You took over for Mike as the Pace Morby hater.
I don't know. I don't know
By
if
accident.
I took over.
Oh, you did.
He doesn't even hate people. He just can't be around people that aren't positive.
That's true. What was it? Positive toxicity? Is that what he's called it?
Toxic
positivity? What?
I can't even talk.
I don't know.
Toxic positivity. If you're not toxically positive, he can't be around you.
Okay. So those that don't follow you or don't know, maybe they do follow you, they don't see your shit. So what was the whole Pace Morby deal?
Yeah. So the whole Brandon Turner thing happened, obviously, which I guess if you aren't involved in real estate or live under a rock. So you guys posted about that. That went viral. Brandon eventually kind of came out, made a statement, and, was in the comments, responding, clearly him responding to people, which I appreciated. And
100%.
A lot of it was just very, very honest, very transparent. I like Brandon a lot and thought it was good. But apparently he got pretty lit up on Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff. But for some reason, Brandon did a call with Pace, which I'm like, I feel like
that was actually caught me off guard.
Did you watch it by chance? No,
I didn't. I got enough comments on it, but yeah,
it's an interesting watch because I was kind of surprised by that. One, it seemed after that I would probably post that and crawl in a hole, but that would be me personally.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anybody did bad that he was responding or willing to hop on a call. I just probably would be let me hibernate for a week or so.
Yeah.
But so immediately hopped on this call with Pace. I'm like, Pace of all people is who you want to get your voice out, whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole there's 5 minutes opening up and Pace is just absolutely glazing Brandon. He's my best friend. I look up to him. He's amazing. I've learned so much from him. And and he does that. Some of the stuff he's saying, you're cool. I'm kind of on board with that. About raising money and stuff. But then it just feels so disingenuous. The whole thing,
mm-hmm.
Which I feel that's the feeling I get with him on everything.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
It just feels if this whole time I was just telling you how great I thought you were, it'd be that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it'd make you feel uncomfortable.
So I feel he does that. But anyway, so talked with Brandon. It's interesting. It's a good call. And then I kind of just posted some thoughts on it. So Pace keeps talking about the few things that kind of I touched on was he talks about how he is invested in some syndication with someone and they're about to lose $40 million. And he knows that because he's in it. But that person, whoever this chick is still out raising money, saying she's never lost money. And he's trying to warn people without warning them, which I'm just say the name or give a description.
And what's the harm of saying the name too? I guess depending on how you're framing something, there's two sides of that. Is you're framing it incorrectly and maybe in a way that's not true, or you're trying to not share the information with people because you're trying to protect that person. Which one is it?
Yeah. Or you could just be I'm invested in this deal.
Mm-hmm.
3 sentences later, cool. I didn't name the person, but said, hey, I know this investor who's raising money and lost money. Oh, I also invested with Dan.
Right.
Connect the dots. Who cares?
Seriously.
But so then he talks about how he raised money for this person, raised $1 million to throw in their fund. And how he, threw in 150 of his own and then 850 from friends. And then talks about anytime I raise money from people, I personally guarantee it. So he's like, these people are going to lose their money, but I'm going to pay them back. And then within like 20 minutes, he gets into this like, actually, all my advisors said I can't pay people back. So like,
he personally guarantees. No, he doesn't. There's no way he does that.
Yeah. So it just became this like, oh, I'm going to pay everyone back. And then it was like, well, I really want to, but
I can't.
Everyone's saying I can't.
Yeah.
Whatever. But then there were other like random things of like that chick. I'm like, if you really do have this huge community, there were literally like 1,100 people on this call. Like it was like,
that's crazy.
It was a lot.
That's impressive.
Yeah, very much so. But I'm like, if you are really trying to protect people, even like if you potentially going to get sued, like I feel like you should have enough money to like deal with that.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, oh, well, he's doesn't want to get sued and whatever. I'm like, if you have a community of 20,000 people,
right, and
you should be making enough money that like
that shouldn't matter.
You can fight off a lawsuit for the good of humanity or whatever.
Totally.
Anyway, but then there's like another like just like random like someone during the call asked him if it's recorded, and he's like, "No, I'm not recording this." And I'm like, "I'm listening to the recording." Like
what he says.
Yeah, there's just
that is so weird. Dude, that's
like
crazy.
Blatant lies in there. Like immediately shares the recording, but like why would you
lie about that?
Yeah, like and then you're like, it's just one of those things to me. I'm like, if you lie about little stuff, like what else do you lie right now?
It's so blatantly obviously lying too, right? Like that's the crazy thing. That's what makes me question. It's like a politician, right? Like at this point, like our politicians like lie to our faces and then still like they don't care. There's like no remorse. It kind of feels like that a little bit. Like why would you do that?
Yeah, like you can't even like keep up with anything you say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just like shared like a few like thoughts on it, and it went somewhat viral. And
I thought they were insightful, right? Like it wasn't like you were going after him specifically. Like you shared a balanced opinion on it.
Well, then I think what actually got him to block me was me talking about the Morby method.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a great explanation though.
It was also like, I thought fairly objective.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you're going to freaking name something a financing method after yourself, like you shouldn't be upset if someone explains it.
Yeah.
Or talks about it. Like,
especially when there's mortgage fraud, that's potentially part of it, which there is.
And even aside from that, just the being like fully levered on stuff is like,
it's bad.
Not ideal.
Yeah. I got this place for $1 down and I overpaid for it because that's okay.
One of my favorite things, which is someone but I won't mention them, an agent who says if someone wants to make Morby Method deal offers with them, they charge them $500 up front.
I love that. I'll do that all day long.
Like, cool. Like, if you want me to make stupid offers, like, I'll do it, but like, pay me up front. I was like, that's amazing.
I love it. Well, so yeah, you're blocked from Pace. I don't know if Mike is blocked. Mike is probably blocked. I'm not blocked. I had a brief exchange with him over DMs, and it was about, I don't remember what it was about. Might have been about the insurance issues, about getting like insurance. I was like, well, why don't you explain this to me? Because we were going through a sub-2 deal with the insurance. And when you do insurance on sub-2 deals, there's a few different ways to do it. But what most people say is like, okay, keep the seller's insurance in place. And then once it closes, swap it out with your insurance, which I don't think the timing.
Put them as like additionally insured or.
Yeah. And so like the house we ended up selling, we sold one of our houses sub-2 to an investor, like one of our Airbnbs.
Yep.
And what I did was I was like, here's my insurance agent's information. I want you just to put the exact same policy in place, keep me as additionally insured, and then you basically put your name as the main insured. And it worked fine. We haven't ever been questioned on that. But like the reason why you're doing that is because you don't want your lender to know that you changed.
Yeah, you don't want it to like trigger anything. But the thing that even like I've always wondered about that too. Like, what happens if you actually have a claim?
An insurance claim?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it gets messy.
I just imagine there's like, most insurance don't like love paying claims.
Exactly.
So like, it'd be like, oh, well, you did this wrong, or you're not the name on the loan. Like, we're not going to cover that. Like, I just feel like that would be a really easy like thing to potentially fight.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. Insurance is like crazy too. Like just like the little things that they'll pick apart to not pay you. So something big like that. Yeah. Every time I've had to deal with insurance, it has not gone my way. Let's put it that way. You're almost getting insurance only because the mortgage companies requires you to get insurance, right? That's basically it. It's not really for protecting yourself in this sub-2 situation because you're right. Like if they just pulled it up and they're like, what's going on here? It wouldn't be hard for them to see that.
Yeah. And I guess like honestly, my thought of any of the like sub-2 creative finance, like whatever, like do it, fine. Like who cares? As long as you're in a position to deal with it when something goes wrong.
Correct. Yes.
I'm like, cool. If you can do your Morby Method thing, but like you have the money to deal with it if you call loan due or,
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. I'm like, cool, then do it. Like, who cares? Other than like the whole fraud part, but like sub twos, like I'll still do them. I use it more like hard money and like temporary because also no one talks about like, do you really want to have like an ongoing relationship with the crackhead who you're buying the house from who is in a situation where they have to sell you the house in a weird way?
I can tell you firsthand, you 100% do not. We didn't buy a house from a crackhead, but with our old business partners here in Spokane, we did a sub-2 deal. Well, I didn't do it. I was just part of it. Bought a sub-2 deal from somebody, sold it to another investor's daughter. And I can tell you right now, it's basically your problem forever as the wholesaler. Because guess who the seller and the buyer call when they have an issue?
Yeah.
Because you're the person that they know.
Yeah. Wholesaling sub-2s are like...
so bad, dude. It's not even cool.
Like, and I would do it we would occasionally, but it'd be someone I like really know and trust.
Yes.
And even then, like, cool, I made 5 or 10K with the knowledge that this could still come back to me. Whereas like, hey, I signed a cash deal. It is like clean. It is done. No one's ever doing anything ever again. Like I saw one of these in the San Antonio group recently of like some agent trying to figure out stuff because, her clients sold their house sub-2 and they wholesaled it and they've not made a payment in 3 months. So it's like, hey, how do we find these people? It's like, what do they do? And it's like, and people were like, oh, well, they should just log in and make payments. She's like, they can't even log in anymore. Like they can't even like make payments anymore.
Yep. That's the issue.
They can call the bank and like try to sort it out. But
But I mean, still, it's like that to me is so stressful, right? To have to deal with that, especially for some folks that they're making, like according to Pace, this is his sole way he does things. It's like, imagine doing 100 of these and you're carrying that like liability on you. It's coming back to you at some point in time, even if you're just wholesaling. Yeah, maybe you don't have any real liability. You have some ethical liability to help these people when the buyer stops making their payments or something weird happens with like, because here's the other thing is like weird things happen. Like the mortgage payment changes when the taxes and insurance go up.
Yep.
People swap their insurance out. Sometimes they need to log into the account to get the statement because they're going to do refinance it and they don't have the correct login information. There's all sorts of stuff. It's like, it's so weird.
Well, and I've been on the side of like on 2 occasions where we bought really botched sub-2 deals that just left everyone in a bad spot.
It sucks.
Like an investor stopped paying, collected all the rent, never made a payment.
Nice.
Seller sued him to get the house back. He countersued her. It was tied up in a lawsuit for 2.5 years. No one's making payments. Equities like just disappearing.
Sucks.
Like it's just like
think about that for a second. I actually never thought about it in the way of like there's malicious people out there. So you got 20,000 people in the sub-2 group. Most of them are trying to do these gator lending things where they have no money, right? And we've seen kind of the group of people that they cater to. And it's usually that no money down type investor, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't have any money. The people that are trying to like sub-2 cars and stuff, maliciously going out and buying sub-2s so that you could collect the rent and never pay the mortgage because what do you care?
Well, and the thing that sucked though is like in this whole situation, the only way it was ever resolved was with a mutual release because he countersued her for it and then was like, I'll agree to this settlement, but you have to like release your claims against me.
Right.
Or we'll just, we'll just keep going and we'll all just burn up money.
Seriously.
It was just stupid. And then we had another one that was like real weird it was like a wrap and it was called deuce and then they deeded it back.
Yeah.
And then it like ballooned in 5 years or whatever. So somehow during that period, they were supposed to like have like an unrecorded deed where like, hey, you still own it. Like we all know that, but like this is making the bank happy. That never happened. And then it ballooned or in theory ballooned. So like both sides were wrong. They didn't make a payment for over a year, but then they were like, oh, they're trying to take our house. And then it was funny too, because it was like the servicing company, the chick who sold it to them was trying to foreclose on them, but already had it deeded back to her. So she didn't need to foreclose on them.
Oh, damn.
We were like calling the attorney. And we're like, what are you foreclosing on? And they're like, we don't know. It's like, she already owns it. Like, what are you foreclosing? So like, but then we ended up like buying it from the previous owner, who's now the owner on record, giving the people that lived there who kind of bought it, but kind of hadn't paid for anything in like 18 months, like some money. Like it was this whole like just weird mess of a deal.
That's kind of crazy. Honestly, good for you guys to help resolve it. I mean, most people aren't going to do that.
I mean, we made good money on it. It was like, it's a good house, but it was just this whole like mess of a situation. And of course, like both sides were like, everyone was wrong. Like, yeah, you haven't like tried to make a payment in 18 months, but also like they didn't do anything when it was supposed to balloon either. So it was just like
that is weird
dynamic.
I think we've beat the sub 2 to death, but I do want you to know that I'm going to give you the Employee of the Month award for the number one Pace Morby block.
Can I do one more?
Yeah, do one. Yes, please do one more.
Also on that call, Pace briefly mentioned this deal from like 3 or 4 years ago that he was like all over the internet about. An apartment complex he bought in San Angelo, Texas with, he paid nothing down, a 50-year mortgage, overpaid for it. And, like told this story on like anything you can think. Like you can literally Google like Pace Morby San Angelo apartment and it's like, there's LinkedIn posts, there's podcasts. But then on that, he like talks, like just kind of briefly mentioned, like, I have this deal in San Angelo I never should have bought and it's a horrible deal and I hate it. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's an easily Googleable one too.
Oh, for sure. It was just kind of funny because he's like, yeah, like, but I mean, he was like, oh, it's fine because I have a 50-year mortgage on it, but it's a horrible deal and I hate the asset and like, I never should have bought it. And I'm like, oh, maybe like overpaying for things just because it's owner finance. Like,
yeah, exactly. Going back to that.
But
that's kind of funny how that comes. But he probably forgot because this is how most like, I don't know, liars like that are. I don't know what kind of liar that would be, like a sociopath. I don't know where they lie. Like they just don't even remember that everything they'd told before was like a half lie anyways. And so they just act like that didn't exist. Like all that content I posted on the internet doesn't exist about me talking about how this is an awesome method. And then I'm going to talk about it being a terrible asset and not tying the two lies together.
Not like realizing that in my now, like I'm so transparent, people are going to be like, oh, you like sold that forever.
Right. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And now there's a bunch of people that think that that's still the thing. And if you asked him, he probably would tell you that that's the way to do it, even though it's not, because he has proof in his own use case or case study that it's not a good idea. Whatever.
Yeah. And I assume like in that same scenario, you probably can't sell it because if you're on a 50-year amortization, you probably still owe more than it's actually worth.
Yes, exactly.
Whether it cash flows or not, you probably, 4 years in, you still owe way too much on it.
Exactly. I think you know what? This is actually a good slight pivot that we could talk about too. So like, this is a living example of why you need to invest and like be a solid operator through the good times and don't do a bunch of dumb things like stack up sub 2s or do these weird creative finance deals or overpay for assets because, oh man, you're going to refinance in the future. The whole like date the rate, marry the house type mentality, because we're living through it right now in this economy where it's like, we're making money. Like you're making money. You're doing good. You've had to adjust the business. Mike and I are figuring it out. Everybody's kind of figuring it out. But if you are sitting on assets that are upside down right now because of how you bought them, you're in big trouble because you don't have a way out, right? Because inevitably, like you're going to have something strange happen when you have this like weird, rocky economic time. Like one thing goes bad, you're hurting. 2 things go bad, you're in real trouble. 3 things go bad, you're bankrupt and you have to sell everything at a loss. And could you imagine that if you had a whole portfolio, 10, 12, 15 of these things of houses where you're upside down on them because you overpaid, but you got a 50-year amortization and the cash flow is great, but then the tenant moves out and they freaking played hammer darts in the house and now you got to come up with a bunch of money just to fix it up to re-rent it at a lower rate, mind you, because rents are going down. Like that is exactly why even during the good times, you have to operate like a sound business.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the importance of like getting a good deal and getting like something that's actually discounted.
Right.
Because cool, if rates are 10%, fine. I'm still buying something at a 20 to 40% discount.
Yes.
Like there's still equity. Like it may be harder to sell it, but at the end of the day, if you're buying something that has equity built in, you should be able to get rid of it.
Right. You may not make a bunch of money. Your paper net worth goes down maybe because the market's depressed, but you're not selling it at a loss.
Yeah.
That's the idea, or that's the hope. There's a lot of people right now. I mean, we just talked about Brandon Turner earlier, like the decisions that they're making. And some of these are actually pretty good operators, but the decisions they're making were too monumental for this market. And I don't even think that we're in like a crazy upside down market. Like it's weird. It's different. Like none of us as operators, at least me in particular, like I've never operated a business or investments through this, the stock market keeps going up. Bitcoin's going down. Real estate's like, this kind of?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff doesn't seem correlated the way it should be.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of don't look into a bunch of that stuff too. Of like,
Yeah.
Dylan's always on here with like all of his like,
Yeah.
this correlates with this, and this rate's doing it. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I just buy trailers. Like, what do I know?
I know. Yeah. Dylan, he's much smarter than me. Mike he's got a doomer mentality on a lot of stuff right now. And my thing is like, I also don't look too deeply into it, but I'm like, this is the first time we've lived through this situation. So I'm not going to compare it to the previous situation. Like, it's really hard. Like, because people keep saying that, I'll say this, like a couple years ago, we, obviously on the podcast talking about things of like, oh, where's the economy going and this, that, and the other. And if you would have listened to, and I don't know who on the pod would have said it, but like, I know at least one of us was like, oh, the market's going to go down. It's like, we're in trouble. If you would have listened to that and not invested in anything, like you would have lost out a pile of money. You could have just put money in the S&P 500 and it would have gone up.
Yeah. I think like, I don't know. I feel like there's just been so many changes in the, time that me and you have been doing this of like crazy, like high market, crazy low market. And it's all just like comes back to like, make good decisions like with the information you have at the time.
Yep.
And if you, try to sit out and wait for this thing, you might be waiting forever. Or if, you try to go too fast and over leverage, like you may be in trouble too. It's kind of like, I don't know, just a matter of like, do deals, just like make sound decisions with what information you have.
Well, to your point, and that's, I guess, kind of what I would have said is like, if you were sitting out and you're waiting for something to happen, you've been waiting for a few years now. Depending on when you decided that, you generally, when people decide that I'm going to wait for the market to crash or I'm going to wait for this opportunity, it's too up and down for me. The market's going down. Like you're going to be waiting. You just don't know because like there's like to your point, all the data, like it doesn't feel like it's correlating to anything. And no matter what's happening, things are going. And I have some beliefs why. I don't think it's like I don't believe that the system's completely rigged and fake and all that. I think there is probably a good chunk of that. But I also think that we're in an unprecedented time where a new technology, literally a world-changing technology, life-changing technology just like came out with AI. Like we don't know what that's going to do. I don't know. There's so much going into that.
Yeah. And it's like changing so much week to week and all that crap too.
There's just like a ton with that. And I think with that, there's some optimism around it. And I think that, America is continuing to lead the way in that, which is great. I don't think that was the thing that people were talking about even 6 to 8 months ago. There was a little bit more worry about China taking the lead. And you could argue like, why does it matter? I think from like an economic standpoint, it probably matters, right? To have like the biggest, baddest shit ever, including the best bombs, because that's usually a good defense mechanism. But like, I think my point is like American exceptionalism, although it feels weird, is on display currently with AI and how big our companies are and what they're doing. People may not agree with it. Like there's a bunch of people that are like anti-AI, anti-data center, all that sort of stuff. But if someone's doing it, America's going to do it, and we're doing it better than other people.
Some of the really funny stuff I've seen around AI is like the wokeness around it of like, which I didn't even know was a thing. People post whatever on Instagram. And they're like, we shouldn't use AI generated images. Like that's like the new left thing.
like stop it.
Like,
stop it.
You're wasting the water. Like, hope you felt good about making your AI generated whatever.
Seriously, like, and it's all so ill-informed because most of the anti-AI arguments are actually completely false. Like they're just not true. Like why they're saying anti-AI.
Well, a lot of the stuff with all the like data center stuff is they're making them provide their own energy for it, which net is I would say is a better thing to have like people providing their own energy source so they can, potentially dump back into the grid. It's not like they're pulling from it or they're like, it's just like a thing. I'm like, I don't know. I lived through Texas not having power. It seems like companies coming in and you forcing them to like power their own stuff isn't a horrible solution. And then it's like the places they're building data centers, like who gives a shit? Like they're doing it in like Southern Ohio where I live or I'm from. Yeah. And it's like people there complaining about it. I'm like, you guys need jobs. Like you have no money. Like you're upset that someone's buying like, 4,000 acres for like $500 an acre so they can build a data center. Like
none of you guys wanted it.
Well, and it's like, of course they're like building these where land's cheap, but that also should be jobs for people that probably need jobs.
Yeah.
It all just seems like wild.
Yeah. I would say too, just from because my background is like electric grid stuff. And like, so I understand it quite a bit is like, they're bringing more resiliency to the local grid if they do it right. And I think most states where like power and stuff is regulated, they're going to do it right. or good enough. I would say it's not, I guess, compared to what most people are saying it's going to be. But if somebody comes in and builds a giant data center, like there's one kind of coming in town here where we're at in Eastern Washington.
Yep.
And everybody's like, oh my God, there goes all of our water. See you guys. There goes all of our, we're going to pay so much more for power. But if you look at it, and mind you, the government has to approve these things, right? When you bring in a regulated environment, and Washington's one of those regulated states where we have our power grids regulated, the state has to approve it. But also like in the filing, it's like, yes, whoever's building this is going to build all of their own electrical infrastructure. So nobody has to pay for it, but the customer that's actually building it all. And then on top of that, if they are bringing their own generation on site, damn well they're going to have additional generation capacity with that. Because if you're smart, you're going to do that. You're going to have the ability to grow your generation capacity, which then just...
Yeah. And then you sell off for cheaper and potentially make power cheaper.
Yes. And in general, customers, if there's generation, that if you built a generating plant, the customer has to pay for that, whether it's getting used or not. And so if Microsoft comes in and says, we're building an AI data center, and by the way, at our own shareholder expense, we're going to build generators that we could sell back into the grid for cheaper. That's a freaking win-win.
Right.
That's a great deal. It's not that bad of a deal. So yeah, I don't know, but I am wearing my Meta AI glasses right now.
I like that.
I just want everybody to know we are not yet sponsored by Ray-Ban, but we're coming soon. Hopefully Ray-Ban out there. But I read an article on just this morning that Meta, Wired magazine, I think it's Wired magazine or Wired.com or whatever they are now, found that facial recognition software was secretly embedded in these. So when people are walking around like me, who bought these after a couple margaritas and their neighbor showing them to them, I was splurged, bought these. I'm now just walking around at collecting data for the government.
Very nice.
Public service announcement. I want to put that out there.
I saw a TikTok the other day of a guy who hacks your Meta glasses so the light doesn't turn on so you can record people and them not see. So now that's an option for you too. It's like,
so I didn't even know that.
In his car, and he does whatever to make the light not turn on. I'm like, this just seems creepy. Like, whatever.
Yeah, that is super weird. No, so again, full disclosure. Like, I bought these. Like I said, I was drinking some alcohol. Splurge bought them. I do like.
All I'm saying is, if you see Dan in the bathroom, be careful.
Seriously though, I didn't know that. So there's a light. I haven't recorded anything with these. So there's a light.
Yeah, you hit a button and a light comes on of to tell people you're recording.
Oh.
But if you take it to the sketchy dude, he'll hack it so you can secretly record.
See, that's messed up. See, okay, that's shitty. I'm going to have to get rid of these. So I really have an issue with all the cameras out there because like people like me walking around with these things, everything's getting filmed all the time. So you can't even do anything. And the government's going to get them because, Mark Zuckerberg, he'll give the government whatever they want. He's already proven that. He's like, oh, you guys want all of our Meta glass data? Cool. Just send that to you guys over here. Put it underneath the Epstein files. Nobody will ever find them. It's out there.
I mean, all of that kind of exists anyway. I was listening to Mark Andreessen on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago, and they have some sort of I don't know if it's surveillance system or whatever, but all the cities have it where something happens, they immediately run data recognition on all the surveillance cameras everywhere to get license plates and track people down immediately, which is a good safety thing till it's hacked. But they were talking about it was maybe Austin. It was somewhere some city that was oh, we don't want that anymore. I think it was Austin because they had that shooter or whatever on 6th Street and they completely turned it off. And then they couldn't find him, which would have instantly been done or whatever with this system.
Oh shit.
But then whatever city was hey, we're not going to do it. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
That's a tough thing because when you could save somebody's life, you have technology that could save somebody's life and it's right there and you're choosing not to use it. It's a travesty in that moment. But then all of the other personal infringements that happen because of a technology, you're that kind of sucks, dude. I feel yes, I wish that we could have saved that person's life or caught that bad guy. But man, there's all the other negative things.
Everything
that
else
you
with it,
have no privacy issues, right? I mean, that's what it is. But I don't know. Dylan sent me a message yesterday before he bailed on the podcast and was just being a complete loser about the whole thing. I need you to decipher this quote that he sent.
Oh man.
It's from Charlie Munger. It says, "Where do people go broke? Ladies, liquor, and leverage." Charlie Munger.
That's all. That's it.
What do you think? Does Dylan have a problem with the ladies and the liquor? That's all he said. I don't know.
Or is it the leverage? Are those all? Does it have to be all three?
It's a cry for help, I think. Oh, I'm gonna hammer Dylan. Dylan's gonna love this. Oh, I do have to speak up for Dylan and I know you probably don't care, but Bitcoin. Since Dylan's not here, he's my Bitcoin expert. Can you provide me an analysis on what's going on with Bitcoin? Because I'm not an expert. I am a gambler.
I know. I think it's down-ish, maybe.
It's down a lot. Let me check out what it is right now.
I don't even know. I feel like so uninformed.
Bro, you're so into trailers right now. Like I get it, dude. You're good for you. That's kind of how I am with the lending business. I'm so into lending right now. Okay, so before the pod, I looked at it. It was at 59,700, which is low. I think that's the lowest it's dipped in a while.
I thought it was like 60, but like...
It's 60,900 now. I need Dylan to tell me if I should buy more. And of course, he's going to be like, well, you should always be buying.
He's going to tell you should be dollar cost averaging and buying Bitcoin always.
Yeah. You know what? I did that because that's what Dylan told me. And I've been losing money ever since.
See, could have been buying meme coins.
I mean... I should have bought meme coins. I would be better right now than BTC.
It would be a lot more fun.
Yes, absolutely. Well, actually, there is a lot of people talking about it's a bunch of liquidity because people are trying to invest. They want to get liquid so they can invest in SpaceX.
Yeah,
that's SpaceX is the new Bitcoin right now. That's where all those Bitcoiners are going is to SpaceX to invest there when it IPOs.
I know nothing.
Are you invested in SpaceX?
I'm not.
Oh my gosh, me neither. I'm just trying to give hard time.
I mean, I assume it will do well because, like, I just wouldn't bet against Elon. But
yeah,
I also don't understand like all of the like combining Twitter with SpaceX and XA. Like,
bro, you don't got to understand any of that.
I don't understand any of it. I just like feel like if he's gonna do it, he's probably like it'll probably go up.
Yeah. Totally.
And if it doesn't, we'll just like tweet some random shit to like make it go up.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of that.
Oh, I'm gonna take it private again at X price.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. I do have a strong belief that part of these IPOs, so they did change some rules, which are interesting to some of our listeners, or maybe interesting, is like, so the NASDAQ changed its rules to allow people, retail buyers, to start buying the SpaceX shares after it IPOs. I think it's like, is it 2 weeks after? Or maybe 30 days after, where typically when an IPO goes, the NASDAQ's an exchange, it's private, it's not, I don't believe it has anything to do with the government as far as these rules go. Could be wrong. Typically it's like 8 months or something like that. And what that does is that makes sure that the private investors who basically once they go public have the opportunity to get liquid, don't essentially sell out all of their shares to these private investors and then or these public investors.
It just kind of like levels out or whatever.
Right. So basically what happens theoretically is everybody has all this excitement around an IPO. Boom. All these like private investors, private funds and people that invested through funds, they're coming out at this high valuation. And then all these retail people come in and gobble that up. And then it just fucking tanks because there's a huge liquidity event. And then it goes down and all these people lose their money. So that rule, the NASDAQ for this IPO, not because of this IPO, but before this IPO takes place, they've changed that rule to where, yes, the retail investors can come and start buying the shares after the IPO right away. So that'll be an interesting thing. The other thing what that does is, if you think about this, if you are an index investor like NASDAQ, so like you have a 401k that invests in the NASDAQ, essentially now, because that NASDAQ Tesla is going to, come out there, not Tesla, SpaceX is going to IPO and it's going to clearly be in the top 100 tech companies, right? So the NASDAQ's going to grab it. So then what that does is I think it's like last week on the pod, we looked it up. It was like, I think 37% or something like that, maybe more of the like basically stock market is 401k money now. Because everybody invests in their 401k, the 401k invests in these. So now if your 401k has NASDAQ as an index fund that it's investing in, which is that's all these 401ks do is really pretty much to invest in those. Now that your 401k is going to be forced to buy Tesla shares because it's going to have to buy, like say it's like, oh, I'm going to buy one share of Tesla or keep saying Tesla, one share of SpaceX. Well, SpaceX at 1.5 trillion is like 80% of the NASDAQ or whatever it is. I don't know, 50% of the NASDAQ. Well, now you got to buy shares up to balance, sell off shares and buy up to so that you're buying the NASDAQ index fund. Kind of crazy. So
I'm like a little, I mean, I don't actually know nothing about it, but I'm a little surprised that because Texas is starting their own like stock exchange. I'm a little surprised that Elon wasn't like, hey, I'm going to move it there. But
that honestly does not surprise me. But I'm also kind of like, what? Their own stock exchange?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've been talking about it for a few years, which I know nothing that like goes into all that other than like I've heard it's a thing.
Yeah.
But it seems like he would be like, hey, we're gonna do this over here. But
yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff just, people talking about it. I think it's because Elon has been politicized by joining forces with Trump early on with the whole whatever they did, Doge. So I think everything he does is a little more politicized. So now it's like harder to get like true information from people, but whatever. The only other thing I wanted to ask you, and I think your answer is going to be no, but have you noticed an increase in day trading influencers on Instagram?
I haven't, but I will tell you the type of influencer I have seen, which I will almost guarantee you've also seen. Everyone's selling peptides. Everyone's a peptide business. Like that's like the new Amazon store.
Yeah. Peptides. Yeah. There's a lot of that. Okay. I got 3 bones to pick. One, you're going to start seeing it now, like increase all these like dorks are like, sign up for my whatever trading trades. It's $3.99 a month. Everybody wants, because the stock market is going up, right? Everything's going crazy around the world. And the S&P 500 is just ticking up. So everybody's a stock trader.
Everyone's a day trader.
Everyone's a genius. Exactly, right? It was the height of the real estate influencer. We're seeing that. They're like, look at my little green and red rectangles that are going up and down. That means you don't know what that means, dude. And you have zero control over it as some dork in his basement. First bone to pick. So don't listen to any of those guys. The second bone I have to pick is yes, there's all these like peptides and all these like body optimizers and things like that. Dudes, I don't know what you're putting in your body. Like I'm for peptides. Like I think that's a great thing. But like most of this stuff you're buying and the stuff you're getting is like, I don't know where it's from. China, India. What are you poking in your body?
No one knows.
No one even knows what it is, dude.
Like the new like get rich quick, like start your own like e-commerce business.
Yes, 100%.
It was the Airbnb thing for a while. It was Amazon stores. It was,
yes,
credit repair. What else have we missed? But I haven't seen the day trading stuff as much.
Yeah, you'll start seeing it. You'll start there for a minute. There was all the like the Bitcoin traders and like all like the crypto guys. And they're like, historically, when Bitcoin's done this and Jerome Powell said this, I'm like, historically, dude, people haven't been trading Bitcoin like they have for more than 10 years, dude. Like, what do you mean historically? Every day is new for Bitcoin. Like it's a new day, right? And also, isn't it weird that the person who created Bitcoin is unknown and we're investing in it as if it's like a thing that was like built by society as a known entity and like we don't know. The CIA probably built it. That's who I think created Bitcoin, honestly. Whatever. But yeah, start paying attention. You're going to start getting stock trading tips on Instagram and you should not listen to them.
I should join their Discord and buy their tips or whatever.
Yeah, $3.99 a week, and they'll send you their all their trades before they put them on their Instagram publicly, so you'll get the benefit of that.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's very reminiscent of the GameStop time. You remember that little short period of time when all the people were like, "I've been trading options forever." It's like, shut up, dude.
I love the dude, which maybe you guys talked about this, who bet on the Venezuela raid on Kalshi.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
That stuff's amazing to me.
Yes. And I don't think he did anything totally wrong because, hear me out here, and this will be the last point because we do have to get out of here so Max can get this thing sealed up and sent out for everybody. He was not the commander that made the decision to go on that exact day. He just happened to be on the team.
He was just confident.
Yeah.
He was just confident in the U.S. doing their thing.
Yeah, he was like, this is the day.
Everyone in Congress says about various stocks.
Right. And to prosecute him, which sure, there's a great argument to prosecute him. I get it. We got to start prosecuting these people in Congress that have been doing this for decades and decades and decades. Like, we can't see an American hero go down for this for $400,000. Come on. There's people. Let's be honest.
I feel like you could have just like kept it like, Kalshi could have been like, hey, like you guys might want to look at this guy.
Yeah, keep it secret maybe. Why did I put this guy in do you want to know why? Because they need a scapegoat because regulation's coming and politicians are going to be excluded from that regulation. But they've got a scapegoat.
There we go.
If you guys want to see another scapegoat, go follow Aaron. What is your Instagram? Aaron Bihl, B-I-H-L?
Aaron.Bihl. Yep.
Aaron.Bihl. Go follow him and you can learn more about Pace Morby's antics out there. Although Aaron won't be able to get it fresh off the press because he's blocked by Pace Morby. But if you want to see the guy...
I need a mole now.
Yeah, you need a mole. Go be Aaron's mole.
Need someone on the inside. What is like wild, not that we're going to talk about Pace again, but like anytime I like, probably you guys have seen this too. You like say anything critical of Pace and all of his like lackeys come to his rescue in your comment.
Oh yeah.
Not the case on this stuff. Like there's been a lot of people like, hey, I'm glad you're like, people are actually talking about it. I was like, oh, because normally it's like sub 2, like, that's my boy, you know, whatever. Yeah. But there's been like several people like, oh, he like kind of sucks. But
I think it's all coming to light. I mean, if Brendan Turner is kind of getting a little fractured in the eye of his, you know, followers, Pace Morby's got to be right next to him, right? So, all right, guys, have a good week. Good chatting with you, Aaron. Good to see you as usual, man. Thanks for hopping on.
It's my pleasure.
See y'all. Bye.
This episode is sponsored by Sir Lancelot LLC, also known as SLA Capital, which, if you didn't know, is Dan and I's private lending company. So yes, we are sponsoring our own show, but what you going to do about it? It is our private lending company that offers hard money and DSCR loans to real estate investors of all types. So you can be a new investor, an experienced investor. You can be buying flips. You can be buying rentals, whatever. We can do everything. And not only that, but the rates that we offer are just as competitive, if not cheaper, than pretty much every other company out there. So whatever big company you've been working with, bring us their term sheets and I guarantee you that we can probably beat it. We have the same connections they do. We just don't have all the overhead and middlemen. So if you want to come and check us out, go to slacapital.com/keys and I will know that you came from the show. And by seeing that you came from here, when you get to closing, you will save $500 on your first loan with us. So slacapital.com/keys, we would love to fund your next deal. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you want more from us, you can shoot us a follow on Instagram. I am at Mike_invest. Dan is at InvestorManDan. And Dylan is at Dylan_does_deals. Shoot us a follow and send us a DM to let us know what you think of the show.